This is a 1950s Wagner Ware bacon and egg breakfast skillet, a really nice find. I'd say this isn't like a lot of my restorations. This is more like a glorified cleanup. I found it. It was in kind of gross shape. Not too much rust, not too much carbon, but a lot of stuff cooked on there. And I still wanted to give it a deep clean. As you can see, Wagner Ware, Sydney, Ohio, bacon and egg breakfast skillet. And it's a nice pan, although I think maybe it might have been sanded at one point because it does have a bit of a gritty surface. I decided anyway to put this guy in the electrolysis tank. I've got a fresh base there. That's the electrolyte. It's made with 5 gallons of water to a half cup of washing soda. Just make sure it's washing soda, not baking soda. Now I'm using a 12-volt manual battery charger, the negative to the pan, the positive to what we call the sacrificial steel. And in the simplest terms, when the charger is turned on, electricity flows through the water, loosening the rust and dirt from the cast iron and transferring it to this sacrificial steel. Over time, the rust and buildup dissolve, leaving the cast iron clean without damaging the original surface. After about 24 hours, this is sort of what you get. You can see a lot of the grime there. It's come off the pan, detach everything. It's electricity, so be safe. And when you pull it out, you can start to see that some of the carbon has been pulled off, and you can just kind of wipe things away. Again, this pan doesn't have the great dramatic reveal that some of them that I do has, but I wanted to get not only all that burnt stuff off, but the old seasoning off. I wanted to give this one kind of a real fresh approach, and that's basically what I'm hoping to do. Now, this is one of my favorite parts, is when you take the pan out of the electrolysis tank and you basically just give it a good scrub. I'm using a stainless steel pad there with just some Dawn dish soap. And really, the point of this is just to give it a good scrub all over. You want to get as much of that carbon off that the electrolysis tank has helped remove. And really, at this point, what you're working towards is getting this thing down to the raw, bare iron. Now, always as a precaution for any underlying rust that might be there after that carbon is removed, I put it in a 50% water, 50% vinegar bath for 45 minutes and then give it another good scrub. And here you have it. This is the raw iron. This is all the seasoning gone, all the grime gone, and it's ready to be re-seasoned again. So this, as far as I'm concerned, is the most important part when it comes to restoring or cleaning your cast iron, and that's the seasoning. What you're doing is you're creating a protective chemical layer using the oil. For this pan, it's grapeseed oil that you spread on and then heat up to stop the pan from rusting or food from sticking to it, and you can wash it with soap. Yes, soap, and it's an important part of this process. I do think somebody put a grinder to the surface of this pan. It's really coarse and the rags were sticking to it. You don't want that. I used a little air canister to blow away all the little bits before it went into the oven. And remember this key part too. After you rub on all that oil, make sure you wipe it all off before it goes into the oven. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a sticky pan. Finish this, put it in a 450-degree oven for 50 minutes, and I repeated the whole seasoning process 4 times. And after 4 rounds of seasoning, you end up with this. A pan that looks pretty much brand new. The 4 layers of the seasoning is going to pretty much create a non-stick texture for you. This thing is going to be able to be washed really nicely. It's going to come out looking like this after every time you use it, if you wash it with soap. Controversial, I know. I'm sure I'll hear about it in the comments if anybody watches this far. But the best thing is, now that this pan is all cleaned up and looking good, we can use it to make some bacon and eggs. As you can see, it's got 3 sections here. 1 that you get to put your bacon on, and 2 for the eggs. Now the secret with this one is cook that bacon halfway through, render that fat, and use it to cook the eggs. Makes for a non-stick cast iron pan, and lots of flavor too.